Hi guys, welcome to Small Farmer Life. Hope you're all having an awesome Easter and you're going to have an awesome bank holiday, family and friends and all that. Good times. But today, guys, we're going to talk about something that is just a proper pain in the backside, and that's shared access tracts. If you're buying some land, you're probably going to be getting shared access unless you're lucky enough to have your own access. And with shared access comes lots of problems. Trust me on that. And I'm going to show you our access track in this video so you can see how bad it is and what state of repair it's in, or disrepair. But there's a few things you need to know when you're buying land, and it's going to be through shared access that you're going to get access to your land. Now, when you're first looking to buy the land, you need to know what type of access you're going to have to the land. So there's a couple of types of access that can be granted, but the access that you need is express access, and that is what will be put on your title deeds. And it will say something like you have access on foot, vehicle access 12 foot wide for you and your successors in title. So if you ever sell the land on, then you will be able to sell that access to the person also who's buying your land. If you split your land up into several parcels, you can also grant each and every one of those people access to their land that you've sold them, even though you don't own the access tract itself. Just like I sold some land to a guy who's now my neighbour, because in my title deeds it says I have a right to grant access for me and my successors in title, and he's a successor in title. Now, the other types of access you can get is what's called easements by prescription, and that is basically when somebody hasn't got the actual access on the title deeds, but they've been using an access track for say 20 years or more. So let's say you bought some land and you thought the access track that you were buying was a private access track, and you didn't know anybody else has a right to use that access, but somebody's been using it for 20 years or more, and now all of a sudden you see someone driving up your access track to get to a piece of land that you didn't realise they had access to. They can actually apply to the land registry to get that put on their title deeds because they've been using it for 20 years or more. No matter what you say, if they can prove that they've been using it for 20 years or more to access their land, there's nothing you can do about it. Now, when these shared accesses are granted, there's a dominant tenancy and the servient tenancy. And the dominant tenancy is you, if you're buying the land of somebody who owns the road, but now you've got access over that road because now you're the dominant tenant. And the servient is the one who's granting you the access over that land. So you might think it would be the opposite way around. They're the dominant tenant and you're the servient tenant. But it's not, because you were actually going through their land, so you're the dominant one, they're the servient one. They're serving you access so you can get your land. Now the problems come when it's about maintaining the track. Now there's around about 8 people that use our access track. And the guy who owns the access track has no obligation to maintain that access track. So he's granted us a right of access over that track, and there's no law that says he has to maintain that track. No matter how bad the track gets, he doesn't have to pay a dime towards that. But we can maintain that track, and he cannot stop us from maintaining that track. Now that would be at our own cost. And this is what we sorted out a couple of weeks ago. There's 8 of us that use the track, and 6 of us got together and said, right, we'll pay £500 each. We'll dig down to the bottom of the potholes, we'll regrade the road, and we'll bring 200 tonnes of stone in at our own costs, £500 each. I thought, great. I came up with the idea, pay them £500. And then one of the people who uses the access track decided that they were going to put scuppers on the whole thing. and they contacted the guy who owned the track and said all sorts of stupid stuff that is totally BS, because we have a right to maintain the track, but they were threatening him with liable if anything happens to them after the track has been resurfaced or maintained, because all we were going to do was make the track exactly how it would have looked when it was first built. Now, if you have access over someone else's track, you can't upgrade that track without the owner's permission. So you can't tarmac the track, you can't block pave the track, you can't concrete the track. If it's a gravel track, the only thing you can do is make it a gravel track again. So maintain the gravel track. And that doesn't just mean fill in the potholes. It means you can actually make that track a brand new gravel track again, but again at your own cost. And we had all the equipment to do our access track. I'll put a short clip up of what our track looks like now. As you can see, it's in a right mess. That's me driving up it and sticking my phone out the window to actually film it. So that's what our track looks like. And I can't understand why somebody would not want that track to be repaired and didn't want to contribute with that. And that was the first words in the email. I am not contributing to this in any way, shape or form. I want 3 companies to provide quotes. They have to have all the health and safety. We want to see signs up. We want everything. And if you've got anything else to say, contact our team of lawyers. And by the way, these people, window cleaners, I don't think they're O.J. Simpson by any means, way, shape or form. But for some reason, they've got a team of lawyers. Sometimes, if somebody is granting you a right of access, let's say they're granting you a right of access over the track, you might be the first person they're granting the right of access to. And they've said to you, right, we're granting you right of access over this track. We want a positive covenant. So basically what that means is they might say, right, we'll pay 50% because we like our track nice and flat. We don't like potholes in there. So we want to keep it and maintain it to a high standard. So we'll pay 50% and we want you to pay 50%. And that would be a positive covenant in their favour against you. Now, the thing with this is, if you sell your land in the future, then that positive covenant doesn't run with the land sale. So the next person who gets the land off you or purchases the land off you doesn't have a positive covenant forced on them. So they don't have to pay for the upkeep or maintenance of the track. So the only way that would happen, and they would have to pay for the maintenance of the track, is if they agree to abide by the positive covenant that was already granted when the owner of the land sold the first bit of land off. They signed that contract, not you. So if you buy the land, you're not stuck with a 50% maintenance fee. But things can happen. Like, things can really happen. And rights of way can be taken away. Now, when you're using a shared access track, you are under no obligations to pay to maintain that track, even though you're using it for your own pleasure to get to your property or your land or whatever it might be. If it's not written in a positive covenant and you're not the person named in that covenant, then you have no obligation to pay to maintain the track. But what can happen is the owner of the track might spend, let's say, £1,000 maintaining the track every several years or so. The other people that are using the track, they might be contributing to the maintenance of the track, and you as a person think, I'm not contributing, why should I? Well, you should, because you're using the track for one, and you're using the track for your enjoyment. So what can happen? You can be taken to court, and like I say, you're under no obligation to pay, but the judges normally come down on the side of the owner and the other people who've been maintaining the track and can remove your right of access to your property because you haven't been contributing to the maintenance of the track. Now, I can't believe that the owner of this road, our access track, got scared off. It's his road. He can maintain it to the standard he wants to maintain it. If he wants to tarmac that road, he can tarmac that road. But what he can't do is tarmac the road and then ask us to pay to tarmac the road. So he can't say, right, I'm going to tarmac the road and I want each and every one of you to pay a fair share to the tarmacking of the road, because we didn't buy land or properties with a tarmac road. So he can't upgrade it like that. He can, but it'll be at his expense. But you as a right of way holder can't upgrade the access track. You can't tarmac the track. You can't block pave the track, even at your own expense. But like I say, you can maintain the track as a gravel track, and you can make it like a brand new gravel track as long as you don't upgrade the track. So no concreting, no block paving, no tarmac or anything like that. But you could do, if you'd ask the owner's permission and the owner said no problem, crack on, tarmac it, then you could do that sort of thing. But in our case, what's happened is the owner of the road, back whenever he bought it, or the people split up the barn conversions, there was a positive covenant made out for that property that he would contribute 51% to the maintenance of the road because he owns the road. But it was the farmers who sold him the barns and the land that entered into that positive covenant. Now, all the neighbours seem to think that he still has to pay that 51%. That's what they think, because they just don't know how it works. But there's not one Carnell's chance that that guy is going to pay 51% to the upkeep of the road. I've spoke to the guy. Now, I'm a guy that likes to get things done. I can't be bothered with all this red tape, with all this paperwork, with teams of lawyers and all that sort of stuff. Listen, do you want to get it done? Let's get it done. Stop messing around. And once it's done, you'll thank me that I wanted to do it in the first place. But this is what it's like when you're dealing with multiple people who don't understand their rights, their legal rights. Like, I know that every single person who uses that access track has a right to maintain that access track. And what I said would have been perfect and the track would have been brand new. But they seem to think that they know more than me, even though all I've studied for the last 8 years is planning law and all these sorts of things. And I'm trying to tell them, but for some reason they want to listen to other people and they're scared off by an email by some window cleaners who've got a team of lawyers. Anyway, guys, you need to watch out when you're buying some land or a property with shared access. If you've got any questions, you've got any comments, anything like that, leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, and you should subscribe, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified of more upcoming videos, hit the bell button. My name's Craig. You've been watching The Small Farm Life. Thanks again to all my parents. Couldn't thank you guys enough. And YouTube members, really appreciate the support. Another thing, guys, join the Discord group. I'll leave a link in the description of the video. And until next time, guys, my name's Craig. You've been watching The Small Farm Life. Make sure you take care of yourself. Most of all, take care of the family. Be genuine, guys. Bye for now. See you.